everyone, welcome back to the channel. Why am I leaning forward? So today I'm going to be doing a film review for The Curse of La Llorona. If I'm saying it, sorry if I'm saying it completely wrong. Uh, so how was it? I'm trying to think how to say it. But I recently watched this film in the cinema, and I just wanted to. I knew it wasn't gonna. From the trailer, I could tell the film wasn't gonna be the best film, but went to see it recently. And so what I'll do is I'll just go into telling you who's like basically directed it and who's also, you know, who's starring in it as well. So, oh my god, I regret doing this with my hair now. It's going on my face. So let's have a look. Sorry, I've just like should have looked before. So, The Curse of La Llorona is directed by Michael Chavez, and one of the producers is James Wan himself, who we all know is part of the basically the Insidious and Conjuring universe. Like he's just a brilliant director as well. And so, starring in the film these are the people starring in the film. Linda Cardellini as Anna, the main character, who is the mum, and Roman Christou and Janie Lynn Kinchin are basically the little children in the film, who are basically Anna's character's kids. There's basically Roman is playing Chris and Janie is playing Samantha. And then there's Raymond Cruz, who's playing Raphael, and Patricia Velasquez, if I say that right, as Patricia Alvarez. And yes, quite. So they are just the main cast. So what happens in this film is the plot is this. So basically, the film starts off with it's like back in Mexico, back in many years ago, 1600s. I'm guessing it was. Sorry, it's obvious. You can tell from my face what I've just thought of this film, really. So it's like back in 1600s, back in Mexico. You see this happy family. They're just playing. Well, they're just like, just having a nice time playing with their little children. This mum and dad are playing with their two kids and just it's all like sweet and nice in Mexico, sunny, hot day and everything. And then next thing, the scene changes and the little boy's like, "Where's everyone gone?" One of the little two kids, and he goes to run. So he's just like running, trying to find where his parents are gone and everything. Next thing, you just see the mum of the family drowning the other child in the river, which actually was a good scene. I actually was like, oh my god, it's a dramatic scene, but which you're thinking, oh, okay, at least this will be at least a decent horror. So you're like, okay, let's see what happens next. Then it skips a few years later to 1970s in LA. So in America, of course. So skips there, and then there's Anna and her two kids who are living in the same house. The husband's unfortunately passed away, and Anna is a caseworker for social services. So she's basically, a very busy single mom, working all the time, looking after her kids as well, and she's literally, yeah, everywhere basically. And so what happens in the film is one of the cases Anne is working on is basically this lady called Patricia, who has small two sons basically, and she goes to her house and to investigate what's happening, why the boy's not going to school, because the reports have come in that the boys haven't been going to school by basically the school. So she goes there to Patricia's house, which is played by Patricia Velasquez. Sorry, I can't say her name properly. I'm really bad at this. Really bad with names, sorry. So she goes to her house, and Patricia opens the door, and she manages to get in. She's like, just let me in, please. Let's just talk. And next thing, Patricia just sort of goes into the room, basically. Just one tiny second. And then Anne starts to investigate to see where the boys are. She's like, where are the boys? Next thing, she opens a closet, and the boys are literally locked in a closet. And Patricia's like, no, don't do that. What are you doing? Don't open the door, please don't. And then like she's literally fighting Anne. Patricia's literally fighting Anne to like get away from the door, like leave the kids in there. And she's like, no, 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 no. I'm getting the boys out. And then they like fight each other for a bit. And the man who basically a man comes and helps out who was with Anne in the first place, who's obviously from, I don't know if he's a police officer, I can't remember if he was a police officer or he just works there. So he was waiting outside the house, and then he managed to get in and managed to get Patricia off Anne. Then next thing, they managed to get the boys and put them in, basically take them to a safe place. Next thing, the boys are like sleeping in, they get them to a safe place, and they're asleep. 1 minute, Patricia's sons are both asleep. Next thing, one of them wakes up and just starts walking, and then the other son's like, "Where are you going?" and starts following his brother. Next thing, you see in like like a mirror in the corner, like one of those circle mirrors, like in the corner at the top, if that makes sense. You see like this mirror showing a reflection of a woman in all white, in an all white sort of dress outfit. You can't really see the woman properly. The next thing, then it's the next day, and unfortunately the boys have not there anymore. They've both passed away, both Patricia kids have. And then Patricia, of course, starts going crazy at Anne and blames her for it. And then wait, I'm trying to think what happens next. What happened next? And the next thing's that there's like a scene where they're like stuck in traffic, and then the mum leaves Anne, sorry, it's back to Anne, if I explain that word better. So it's back to Anne, and she just stops her car and then sees what's going on. It's like they were stuck in traffic and something's just happened in the middle of the road, and that is literally, I'm guessing that's where they see the two boys passed away. And then Anne steps out of her car and then leaves the kids in the car, and then there's Anne's son and daughter both in the car waiting for their mum. The next thing, the little boy hears a sound. He steps out of the car, and then he hears like a woman crying. As he gets closer, it's actually a woman crying, and then he goes up to her, and the next thing, the woman tries to grab him. So obviously from there you obviously get the hint it's La Llorona. And this is the worst part of the film, because they've already revealed what she looks like too early on in the film. So you're not really that scared, because you're like, you've already just revealed what she looks like. It's not scary anymore. So if anyone continues to get scared of this film, is more likely, going to be like, well, tiny little poor kids who are just going to be scared of it, and that's it. And yeah, so La Llorona, obviously, comes in straight away. So she scratches him and whatever. And then they get back home, and then later on, the mum gets back in the car. They get back home, and in all this time, La Llorona annoys them as well. Just starts messing with the car, and messing with the kids, and scaring them and everything. And then the mum comes back. Anne comes back by then, and then they go home. And then eventually, La Llorona starts to horn her daughter as well. Like, her daughter's outside by herself in the rain playing, and then she starts to horn her, and then eventually in time she gets the scratches. So it's just all this going on. The next thing, she takes one of her kids to the doctor's, Anders, and because she's concerned about one of her kids, and then the doctor sees the scratches on the kid's wrist, and obviously it's obvious what happens next anyway. So they go home and everything. By that time, social services, where Anne works, has been called, because they think Anne is basically harming the kids. They're just thinking, oh, she's under stress, she must be harming and beating the kids, it's not allowed and stuff. So they go there, and then they just say to her, you really need to get it together. But she's like, I've done nothing to my kids, I actually haven't touched them, I don't know where these scratches have come from. And obviously, they're not going to believe her, are they, unfortunately. And then more stuff just goes on throughout the whole film, and La Llorona just pestering the kids, and then keep showing La Llorona's face, and you're like, I've just seen your face about 1,000,000 times, I'm not even scared of you anymore. You just end up laughing at the film more than anything. It's just ridiculous. And then what happens is Anne runs to the priest for help. She comes to a conclusion that obviously, there's a ghost around, because La Llorona's creating a lot of havoc in the house. So obviously the mum's heard it by now. So they go to a priest, and then the priest, he starts talking about how he had an encounter with an Annabelle doll. So here, it just kind of annoyed me, because it seems like they're trying to connect this film with Annabelle, but it is from the Conjuring universe, which it makes sense, I understand. But I don't think this one should be connected at all, because it's obviously what my feelings are of this film. It's just not. It should not be even connected to any of the other Annabelle films, to be honest, or any other. It shouldn't even be. I just wish it wasn't even part of the Conjuring universe, to be honest. And then Anyway, get back to the story. I'm going off topic. So what happens next is, so she goes to the priest, and the priest asks to go to, well, the priest says it's best if you go to, basically, I've just forgot his name, because I really did not think this man was a good actor. I just thought he could have tried harder. Raymond Cruz, who's playing Raphael. So she goes to Raphael, who basically he knows how to get rid of La Llorona. He knows exactly what to do, but at first he's just like sort of ignoring her, and then next thing he's like, he sees the kids are like, please, please, and everything, and then of course he does see the kids bruise, like the scratches on the wrist, and he knows who's been around. He knows straight away who's been around, so he tries to help him throughout the whole film. He's just trying to, do what he can around the house. And there's one scene where he's like put eggs all around the house, like boiled eggs, just like wipe it all around the house to get rid of La Llorona, just get rid of her. And then one scene really makes you laugh though, because it's like, this scene really made me laugh. So they're sitting in the kitchen, the kids, what's his name, Raphael, sorry, R&R, got confused because his real name begins with R as well. So Raphael and Anne and her 2 kids are just sitting in the kitchen, and then like, he tries to test with the eggs to see if evil is definitely around, and then the next thing, the egg just explodes. It's an egg you just put in the middle. So the egg just explodes, and all this black stuff just comes out, and it hits Anne in the face, and it's just so funny. Everyone, that scene's meant to be like shocking. They were trying to put that in there to shock people and scare them a little bit. But instead, everyone in cinema just laughed at the scene, like the scene with the egg. Everyone just laughed in cinema, just the way it just hits her face. Like, it's just a black liquid just comes out on her face like that, and you're like, oh my god, you're trying to make that shocking, and it's just more of a comedy show more than anything. So obviously, okay, as that happened, that's obviously there's like some black liquid in the egg, so that's obviously proven that there is an evil spirit around. So that's of course confirmed. She is definitely around after his Anne's kids now. And then he keeps on, and then there's one scene where so of course he decides to like really, work on getting rid of La Llorona. He really, Raphael helps them, tries to get rid of, just try get her spirit out, drive her out away from the kids, and so he puts like, so one scene on the front door, he puts, what does he put? A bunch of like beans or something. I think it's like beans. I couldn't remember. I couldn't tell what it actually was, but he put that in the front door of their house. So he puts that there, and he's like, that'll keep the spirit away. And then one really dumb scene is this. So what happens is the little girl. I just don't understand at this scene why the mum is not watching both of her kids and staying with them at all times, especially if you've got an evil spirit that's just pestering, creating hauntings and doing so much and literally trying to take your kids. The main thing, literally trying to take your kids. That's the main thing. So the mum's not watching the daughter, and the daughter's doll is outside at the front door, and then the daughter's trying to reach like this, with the beans like all, on the front, basically at the front door, in the hall. What's that word for front door? Like in the frame at the bottom. So obviously that line cannot be broken. Otherwise, that gets broken, she's going to get in. La Llorona is. So next thing, and the kid's like trying to reach for her doll that's outside the front door. She lies, like trying to really reach. And then next thing, she managed to get hold of her doll without breaking the line. Next thing, her mum's like, calls her name. And then she's like, and then what she does with her little doll teddy bear thing, drags it, and it breaks the beans line. And then everyone in the cinema was like, how stupid. A lot of people in the cinema did not like the film. They were like, how stupid is the kid? Oh my god. Because the mum called her at the time, she got distracted, and then she absolutely broke the line. Next thing, La Llorona, of course, has come into the house, hasn't she? Obviously. That is obvious that was going to happen. So you're like, oh wow, great mum of the year. Can't even watch her kids at a time like this. Let them just wander off and do whatever. She's there for a good few minutes in front of the door as well, trying to get this doll. And then the mum decides to come last minute to find where she is. And I'm like, oh my god, this mum is literally a terrible mum. The mum's a terrible mum. There's also, she leaves her kids at home by themselves as well in one scene, where she comes back home from work and the kids are already there home alone. And there's like no adult in the house that is watching the kids. She's already a bad mum there. And then another reason she's a bad mum is because she leaves her kids literally in a car for like a very long time. Of course, there's like something on the road, of course, but it just goes on for ages, like at least 10 minutes. She leaves the kids in the car, and it's dark as well. It's literally dark, and she leaves them by themselves. And I'm like, oh, you are literally a terrible mum. They're meant to show her as this empowering mum who's such a strong woman, but she's literally an awful mum. She's just like, it's like, what? Like, you've got kids. What are you doing? She's just literally a terrible mum. So you're like, I can't blame the spirit for taking your kids, because you're literally terrible at being a mum anyway. I bet the spirit will be a better mum than you. So, yeah, what happens there? Then, once, of course, the little girls broke the line, La Llorona's in the house, haunting them, and they're all just trying to, like, get away from her. And then it just, like, I just could not stand this film, to be honest. Next thing, she managed to she locks her kids in the closet. She manages to, like, of course, Raphael's trying to fight her spirit. Then eventually they come to a decision. They manage to fight her and get her out, and then they come to a decision, Anne and Raphael do, to lock the kids in a closet just to keep her away, and then lock the kids there overnight. And the next thing, it sounds like La Llorona's trying to get in the house, but then next thing, she manages to open the closet door, but you have when it goes into the scene, and Anne is like, what's going on, and runs over, and it's not La Llorona, it's actually Patricia, whose two kids passed away earlier on in the film, who locked her kids in the closet as well, her two sons. So it's actually Patricia trying to, like, kill the kids, and Anne's like, why, what are you doing? And then Patricia says, oh, it's your fault my two sons have gone. Your fault. That's why I asked La Llorona to take your kids now, as you know, you took mine. She can take your kids now. That's why I told her, and I know obviously her main aim was to kill the kids, so La Llorona could just have them, and that's it. So of course Patricia has that big reveal, and you're like, oh, okay, that's probably like a tiny bit interesting in the film, and then they manage to. And then I think and then in all that time, I just can't even. The film was just so awful. Then in all that time, La Llorona manages to come in the house and come after the kids, doesn't she? Of course, you know, Patricia's let her in. So she just haunts the kid, and it just, like, drags out another few minutes of that. Then at the end of the film, they obviously have, like, fought La Llorona, and they're all just like a happy family. And you see them walking back into the house. And then next thing, they show the mum's face, and it looks like La Llorona's spirit is, from the look in the mum's face, I'm guessing it's more likely gone into the mum, just so they could create like a second one, I'm guessing. I don't know what they're doing, but I was just like, I can't even be asked. At this point, this film is that bad, I just can't be asked. There's cheap jump scares throughout the whole film. That's what they've depended on. They've not made that the story is actually interesting, of La Llorona itself, of like because in Mexico they actually believe in her, that she takes people's kids, and you know, it's just such an interesting story, the original is. And then what does Hollywood do? Hollywood grabs hold of this story and just makes it into literally trash. The film was just so awful. Bad jump scares. You see La Llorona that many times in the film, you're not even scared of after a bit, you just laugh at it. And there's just many scenes you just laugh at and literally just completely take the piss out of. You literally just take the piss out of the film throughout, because you're like, oh my god, this film is absolutely awful. And one thing that doesn't help is no one can act in the film. Barely anyone can act. There's only a few actors. The side characters are better actors than the main actors. Like, I thought, like, the worst actors in the film, I will literally tell you, are Linda Cardellini, who's playing Anna. Oh, sorry, Anna. I keep calling her Anne throughout the film, sorry. Throughout this review, I've been calling her Anne. Who plays Anna, the mum. She's an awful actress. I'm like, come on. You're just literally got such an easy role to play. Get out some acting, please. And then you got Roman, the little son, and Janie, who's the daughter of Anna. And oh, sorry, that's the actor name. Sorry, Chris and Samantha, who are literally Anna's kids. Both of them can't even act as well. You're like, oh my god, there's younger kids than you that would do a better acting job. They might as well have got those younger kids. I'm not being horrible to kids, probably. I promise I'm not being horrible to kids, but it's like, you do, I'm just being honest, you do get younger kids that can do a better acting job. Sometimes I just feel like little kids in films are just directors or producers' kids, and they just take them on in films, and then a lot of time they just can't even act. They just put them in the film. That's what I feel, but I could be wrong though. And then Raymond Cruz, who plays Raphael, who helps get La Llorona's spirit out, he's just literally an awful. He was an awful actor as well. I thought he was terrible. I was like, come on, look interested. Please look interested. I know the film isn't the best, and I understand why they're not doing a good acting job, but please, like, just try. At least try, because at least it'd make the film bearable if everyone could at least act. So it's like the main characters can't even act. Patricia Velasquez, Velasquez, yeah, Velasquez, who plays Patricia, whose sons at the beginning pass away. She could act. She was like a side character, and then she could do better acting than all them. She was way better. Like, I do like the actress. She's basically from the Mummy films. She basically plays the mummy's girlfriend in the film, and she's always been a good actress anyway, and she literally was just much better every time she was on screen with Anna. It was literally like she just stood out because she can clearly act compared to her. She was a much better actress, and it's just like, and all the other side characters in the film were doing better acting job than the main, and I just thought, oh my god, really? What is this? So yeah, I just thought the film, and it's got literally 30% on Rotten Tomatoes. I understand why. I just think the film is absolutely awful. Like, I saw the trailer and I knew it was going to be bad, but I didn't think it would be this bad. I thought there was some at least hope for it, but I've just started to get a bit annoyed with like the Conjuring universe now. Because I'm not 100% sure if Insidious is part of the Conjuring universe, but from the third Insidious film, the Insidious films have gone bad. I'd say the second Annabelle was bad. Second Conjuring was awful as well. They were just boring films. And it's just like, what is happening? It's like Insidious 1 and 2 was so good. Conjuring 1 was good. Annabelle, the first one, was actually good. These films are all decent, and I just feel like now they're just aiming the films for kids by just putting all these cheap jump scares. And oh yeah, the Nun is just, I didn't even watch The Nun, but I knew it was going to be terrible anyway. So, and then there's Curse of La Llorona, this film. I've just literally, like, Hollywood have just got such an interesting, like I've said previously, such an interesting tale, and they've just turned it into like a terrible film, an awful film. I would recommend no one watch this film. Unless you just, if you're just drunk and you want to take the piss, then yeah, go and watch it in the cinema. Why not? But don't buy it on DVD. Don't even waste your money to buy it. But I couldn't believe this film. I was like, oh my god, wow. But anyway, thank you so much for watching this review. Sorry, it's a very long review. But I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I will definitely see you all soon. See you later.